Hello, and welcome everybody. Oh my gosh, we are on week 9 of 10 weeks of receiving a fucking body process. I can hardly believe it. And I love saying that every time because it just brings up so much amazing energy. And sometimes there's just not a greater word to use, right? To bring the energy up. These body processes are so magical and such a gift and can create so much change. And I will probably never stop quoting or maybe even misquoting Mr. Gary Douglas himself. Like when he talks about how, like, if you will actually do these body processes, you'll get more change than you're willing to have. And then it's like becomes really not about the body processes at all because it's like, do you actually desire to receive that which you say you'd like to have? And so thank you so much, Dr. Glenna Rice, for being here with us today. Magical guest. She's another OG, original gangster of access consciousness. How did we all get so lucky? And she is also the creator of energetic manual therapy, in addition to being a 3-day body class facilitator, and facilitates all around the world on many topics, inviting people to so many possibilities in any area of your life. And so thank you again for being here, Donna.
Thank you for having me on, Danielle. And I love the name too. I did some posts last night and I got a few responses. People were like, "Oh, LOL," or laughy faces. Like, that's the best name. Yeah, receiving a fucking body process. One of my favorite words. And body process, one of my favorite things. So,
Yeah. Awesome to combine them together.
yeah.
And so for maybe like those who aren't familiar with you or your energy, like how did you get introduced to the access tools and maybe what inspired you to become a 3-day body class facilitator?
Ooh, yeah, it was long time ago, like almost 18 years now that I did my first access class. I had been working, I'm a physical therapist. So I'd had a client who had been referred to me by my daughter's midwife. And then he said, let's trade instead of coming to see me. And I was like, said yes, which I never say yes to trades at the time. I just didn't do that. And I traded with him. He's a chiropractor and he ran my bars. And I walked out of the office and I'm like, what was that? Like everything was clear. My head had this space. It was nothing I'd ever perceived ever. So we had some clearing nights and then did foundation and I was hooked. My life changed so much in that first foundation class. Like things that I thought were impossible that I would never change were just gone out of a 2-day. And it was a 2-day class back then, out of 4 days. So that started it. And I became a facilitator probably within a year, pretty quickly after that. And then the body classes, I had been using the body classes in my practice for quite a few years before there was a body class, because I started Access before we even had body classes. And when Gary started opening it up and he kind of threw out there he was going to look for some other people, and I asked if I could do it. And he gave me what I needed to do as the prereqs to get the licensing. And I became licensed back in, I think, 2010 or something. It was a while ago. So yeah, I was OG. One of the first body class facilitators. And I've been doing a class kind of monthly for the past, how many years is that now? 12 years. So lots of classes, lots of people, lots of processes. Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
Wow. Thank you for that. These body processes are just such a gift. I don't even have words for them, really.
Yeah.
And so, like, that takes some commitment, right, to facilitate every month for that long. And so, an access consciousness is an amazing set of really pragmatic tools that just invite you to change anything in your life, like literally anything. I know that sounds like really big, and it's true. And like to truly choose to be conscious and go there and look at things that maybe we don't necessarily want to look at. And, it just invites you to do that in a really non-judgmental way. And the body processes are such a gift to that. And so like just that level of commitment to consciousness, that level of commitment to change. I mean, this body of work is in over 180 countries all over the world now. And
It's
so
amazing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was like 3 when I started. It's grown so
Wow.
big. It's such a gift to people. Like we say, changing things, you can change anything you're asking to change. Even some things you don't even know you want to change will change when you start doing this work. And the tools are pragmatic and easy to use. I mean, I found over the years it's almost how much ease it is to use the tools can be one of the biggest obstacles for people, because you think you have to work really hard to change these things that are limiting you or frustrating you, your relationships, things in your body, your parenting, those kind of things. You think it's going to, hours of study, doing lots of coursework or lots of therapies and things like that is kind of the normal way to change these things. And it can be so much, you're just looking at something from a question, simply asking a question, what else is possible that I've never imagined? A simple question can start opening doors where you can see where the change can happen, and then choosing those things that match what you're asking for.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So, how did energetic manual therapy come to be?
No, I love this class. So that came out of the body work I was doing. I was doing some cranial sacral fascial release stuff in my practice. It was pretty successful, a pretty amazing practice, word of mouth practice. And I started adding all of the access body processes that were available that worked. Not everything wanted to be added to a body work session that I was doing. Some of them enhanced it. Some of the body processes were like, no, that's not the way we do those. You need to put your hands on a certain spot. Um, so from the years of doing that, and I would be working in the back room in an access class, quite a few of the classes, I'd have a table in the back, and people were going, what are you doing? Can you teach a class? And it took me years to finally go, yeah, I can teach this. And so it came from the thousands of bodies. Really, the bodies that I worked on really showed me what was possible. And bringing this modality, which you're being the question with the body, you're allowing the body to guide you. It's like it's a dance. I say hands that dance with body. It's like you're in a dance with the body, where the body is the lead and you're following, which is really different than most modalities for bodies out there, where you're doing something to the body and you have a
Mm.
protocol where you have to do this thing and then this thing and this thing next. So access is really different because we are a question and we always include the body. The body is so vital to creating consciousness and changing. When you're including your body in the creation of everything you do, your life just expands and gets greater. So we're really including the body in this work. And now it's grown around the world. I got classes all over the planet and practitioners in a lot of places. And pandemic slowed us down a little bit because it's hands-on, so it was tricky.
Mm, I
So
bet. And I bet the bodies are like really craving it, right? Because
they're having,
you're
yeah,
so isolated for so long.
yeah, they're so happy to get touched, to have touch, to just be around people, not on a Zoom.
Yes.
Not on your phone or something, is such a gift after 2 years of, we still saw people. We got around it, but it wasn't the ease we're having again. It's such a gift to have travel back and classes back and live classes. I really like if you can get to live classes in your hometown, wherever you live, body process classes, bars classes. There's a whole big thing coming up this weekend with
Yes.
bars, Global Bars Day. What a gift that is to your body. And are you willing to allow your body to have that?
Yeah, it's like I think especially as we get older, sometimes don't realize how much of a gift touch can be.
Yeah.
I mean, even just gently touching yourself and then like the exponentialization of that happens with even a simple hug or a kind, nurturing touch from someone else.
It's the
And
nurturing of that, the nurturing of it. Our bodies really respond to that nurturing, to the kindness of touch. When you're touched with a kindness and a gentleness and an honoring and a caring, the bodies truly respond to that. It is a very healing energy. It kind of starts to initiate your body's ability to heal itself. And it can heal from your body has an ability to heal. We heal all the time. Like we cut ourselves and the cut heals. And there's so much available, and touch can contribute to your body having more ease with what it already can do. You're supporting the body. The body likes to be supported too. It doesn't just need to be the workhorse that's always supporting our life. it can actually be supported too. So what kindness can you be to your body just today? If you could choose one thing today to be kind to your body, what would that be?
That's a juicy question. I could think of a few things. What'd you say?
A whole bunch of things just started popping.
Uh-huh. Totally. It's like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. Which one shall I choose? Which one first?
Yeah, you mentioned Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, and he would say, like, do 1 hour a day, do something for your body, and 1 day a week. And I had 3 kids, I was a single mom, and very busy life, and I just couldn't imagine taking an hour a day or 1 whole day a week for my body. I still don't pull it off very well, but it is something that is a target of mine. And if I don't gift my body, I notice it talks to me. It gets a little grumpy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our bodies get so loud when we don't listen. And yeah, can you talk about that some more, especially as like a physical therapist and then creating the work that you have? Um, yeah, say more about that, like how our bodies talk to us and how they get louder when we don't listen.
Right. So often they're talking to us, and we misinterpret that communication as it's pain or uncomfortable. I find that so often. Like most of the pains in our body are just information our body's telling us about something. Not even, and it rarely is it really the injury we think it is or the problem we think it is. Sometimes it could be an injury. Like I said, if you cut your finger, your body talks to you. It lets you know it hurts and put a Band-Aid on me, please. But they're talking to us all the time, and really, our bodies are these sensorial organisms, as we like to say. They're really like big radio antennas that are picking up the information of everything around you all the time, and we ignore it. And the things that are really valuable that your body wants to communicate, it can get louder and louder, and that can be pain. So as a physical therapist, people come to me because they have pain. That is, my biggest clientele is people that choose, they have some pain in their body, and they're referred to a physical therapist. So having these tools to look at pain from this other point of view, that what is the body saying? What information is your body giving you that you're not acknowledging? Has profound effects. Like the results are amazing. People with back pain, long-standing back pain, just saying, well, what is back behind you you're not willing to look at?
Mm-hmm.
I've had people just go, oh, this thing that happened, blah, blah, blah. And then they leave and their pain is diminished right there. And then they kind of like, it's crazy. And they try to find it again. Like it can't be that easy. You can say something and your pain goes away. And sometimes years of ignoring our body can create physical actualization where it actually needs body work or maybe some other kind of modality to help relieve that. And the body processes, the Access body processes, those, getting a fucking body process can actually help change some of the ways we've actualized stuff. And they're really magic. They're miracles. They create miracles. I was listening to something Dr. Dane said. He's got all these loops out now. I don't know the people that are on YouTube. Dr. Dane here, he's got these 10-hour loops that I'm just loving. A little shout out for the loops. And I think it was on that. And he said, a miracle is a miracle that you acknowledge. Like once you acknowledge it, it is the miracle. And we're doing it every single day. I was just in the class saying, it's a miracle your body breathes every day, that you're alive every day, that your body can eat food, digest the whole thing, and use that food to create possibilities to keep the generation of your body continuing. All these things are miracles. And how often do you ever acknowledge the miracle your body is walking this planet? And if we did, like that's the things, if you did acknowledge that your body is a miracle walking, what would you be creating that you're not creating now? Would the earth perceive you different? Like if every step you took along this planet, whether it's on concrete or on your carpeted floor, was a contribution to the earth, and you knew that you were a miracle walking, how different would you be every day?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things the body processes do is they allow you to access the magic that you have, the energies that maybe only you have that can contribute to bodies or can contribute to the planet. They start to like kind of turn a light switch on that allows you to start creating differently with your body, to perceive it differently, to see that it could be, or maybe it is a miracle. Maybe it can change things. Maybe I have a body that could heal other bodies. Often for the first time. And those energies that we be that are unique to us are so valuable to the creation of everything in our lives, the people around us, the people we work with, and the planet.
Such a beautiful invitation and a gift. And as you were talking, like it brought up something that I'll sometimes joke with people about, right? And like outside of something more quote unquote severe, like suicidal ideations, like I'll ask sometimes, okay, how many of you woke up this morning and went, I'm so bad, I'm so wrong, I'm going to stop breathing? Usually no one raises their hand, right? And
Yeah.
it's so funny how, like, we use all these judgments really to stop us from receiving just like the air we breathe, everything we would like to have in our lives. And so that was like a beautiful opening for me. It just popped when you were talking about really just like acknowledging the gift that our bodies are and the miracle that they are.
Yeah. And, bringing up judgments solidify energy. They stop receiving. Nothing that doesn't match your judgment can you ever see. You can't see it. If you judge something as wrong, you can't see anything but the wrongness of it, which is where judgments just limit us. And they're so prevalent. It's tricky to not judge. It's something you have to work on. You have to be aware of. You have to catch yourself. And access tools are a huge contribution to being able to get out of judgment. Judgment has no value. It only has limitation. When you judge your body like, oh, I'm ugly, I'm fat, or like, wake up every morning, I'm just an awful person, I hate myself. Those are all judgments. None of them are questions. If you think you're fat, you will never see any other possibility, and your body will create from your judgments. I know fat is just something that's pretty universal. I don't know any country I've ever been to where people don't come to the class when someone is coming because they want to change something about their body shape, whether they actually have a bigger body or not. And that's a pretty prevalent judgment, so most people are familiar with that. But there's other things. We're judging our bodies all the time. Like no one ever went to bed at night judging the shape of their body, saying, oh, I'm looking so old, and woke up looking younger.
Mm-hmm.
Judgments don't work. And we somehow buy this point of view that if you judge yourself enough, you're finally going to be able to overcome it and change it. And it never works that way, guys. It doesn't.
It sounds like such a great idea and a plan, though, Glenna. Come on. Killing all my dreams here.
We've tried it for a long time. It's never worked for me. So turning those into questions like, oh, what would it take? So body, as I go to sleep, what would it take to look younger tomorrow? What can we, how much generative energies can we run all night long so we have a more youthful appearance in the morning? That could actually create a possibility. And then if you aren't in judgment, you could look in the mirror and see the change. But if you're in judgment that you're looking old, you can't see anything that doesn't match your point of view. So the mirrors will show you your judgment.
I love that. I'm like, I've always wondered, like, is what I see in the mirror, like, is that actually what I look like? Is that what other people see when they look at me? Like, I'm just really curious about
Yeah, it's funny. I have like we never actually see ourselves. And before mirrors, what did we do? We had to have other people tell us how we looked. Other people put on our makeup or do our hairdos or whatever. Yeah, it is not what you look like to other people. You show other people a different look than you see yourself in the mirror. I will do quickly, show me what's true in the mirror, and I'll get a flash and I'll go, oh, that's not bad. And then everything starts to get strange again. So that's something people can use. Just try it out in the mirror. And there's some mirrors that are worse than others. Like if you go to some of the department store mirrors, like I'm not bashing Nordstrom's, but Nordstrom's mirrors make you look horrible. And I think it's all of the judgments of other people that have looked in those mirrors you pick up too.
Yeah, because we're so aware.
Because we're so aware. We're these psychic beings that are aware of energies in past, present, and future. So those mirrors have those judgments, and you go in and you're like, oh, take the clothes home. look at them there. Now we can order them online. It's even easier. There's so much online shopping.
This is true. Wow, like I've never thought about that with the mirrors and other people's judgments.
Yeah. So what do I actually look like? Mirror, can you show me that? Mirror, mirror on the wall. We can do a little old school Disney movie.
Right?
Is that Snow White? It's Snow White, right? I mean,
Who's the fairest of them all?
right.
That's one of my favorite movies.
I don't even know where to go. The dwarves and the mean stepmother. A whole other show here we could do. Scary Disney movies for princesses.
Totally. Yeah, if you really like look at like the underlying messages and stuff in those movies, it's like, wait a minute.
Yes. Evil stepmom. Well, how many people have created their judgments on the body based on cartoon characters we saw when we were little girls or little boys? You know, I loved those princesses. I loved their dresses. You know, but did that have anything to do with my life or my body or what my body even sort of looked like when they had waists that were this tiny? Or that we had to look this way to get this stupid prince that we had to marry because he saved our lives? So how pathetic did we have to make our bodies at the same time as making them incredibly beautiful? So all of these things are judgments that can impact the creation of your body. What would your body actually like to look like?
Totally.
It's a great question to ask. What would your body like? Like if you gave your body permission to create itself the way it would like to look like, would your life change? The funny thing with that question is it's amazing. And people do change their body with the question. I've seen it over the years. Their bodies start to usually, it's like if they don't totally change the shape and size, they become brighter, lighter, their faces become more attractive. They're just more of an invitation. And a lot of the things that we are struggling with eating or exercise or losing weight, those things start to go away because your body's creating it with you instead of you creating against your body. Mm-hmm. And it's funny the number of people that will be concerned that their body will just create something. If you let the controls of your body go for 1 second, it would just create a nightmare. Mm. You like grow an extra head and warts or something. I have never seen that happen.
Yeah, there's an element just with talking about like the whole cartoon thing and those stories, like the element of fantasy, right? So like how many fantasies are we like impelling and imposing on our bodies have nothing to do with what our bodies actually desire to look like or be in the world or what they could contribute to us in the creation of every other area of our lives.
What if they could create so much greater than our fantasies? How much of a limitation are the fantasies? I mean, if you say the word if you're saying, if this happened, if I did that, if I went there, if I ate that, if I exercised, if you're using the word if, you're in a fantasy and an insanity somewhere. So you really want to ask questions that are creating you beyond this reality, or something I like to use, greater than I can imagine. What else is possible greater than I can imagine? My imagination is pretty good, but it's a limitation of something greater. Because it's a lot of times our imagination is full of judgments, and you could create beyond that. What would it be? Something greater than you can imagine. It kind of stops that head trip. Where only this little thing is possible.
Totally. Yeah. What's way, way, way beyond that, for sure. So if you can even begin to put it into words, like what actually is energetic manual therapy and like what can it contribute to this whole notion of our bodies like showing us what they desire to be?
Yeah, so it's manual therapy, so it's hands-on body work. It's a little different than the body processes. Are more energetic, though you'll have touching them. This you're actually manipulating, working with the whole body, and we're targeting the connective tissue of the body, which is pretty popular right now. Fascia, connective tissue, fascial body work is getting really loud. So your whole body is this connective tissue. It's everywhere, and our judgments will limit its shape and form. Also, traumas will, but we have a lot of judgment around traumas. So it's specifically targeting areas that don't have a lot of space, a lot of fluidity of movement. Um, and the tissue is incredibly strong, so it's not something you can stretch. It's not something you can cut it out. Surgeons do it. Um, you can't force it. It's designed, your fascial system gives your body the shape and form. So we're not like a puddle on the floor. So our bones float and are suspended into places, and our liver is where it should be. It's not in our knee. It keeps everything in place. So it's designed to resist any forces. So you can't force it, which is such a great analogy with access, because access, you can't force anyone to be or do something that they are not choosing. And force never creates as much as a question and a possibility. You can force things into place, or you can invite them into place. An invitation creates greater. So it's about inviting the body to change, to transform this connective tissue, but it's the whole body. So I say body, I say connective tissue. It's pretty interchangeable the way we work. And because it can't be forced, the way to change it is to invite it, or invite you and the body to a different possibility, to change it. So that's part of the training, is getting people to look at a body from a completely different place, where we're creating with it and we're asking it to change, and then inviting it to change and showing possibilities of something greater. And yeah, pain. Someone had an ankle injury, or someone had a surgery. We can be working, showing ways to look at those injuries or those traumas from a different place without the significance, and allowing the body's innate ability to heal itself to really start to be available. You're accessing what the body knows and contributing to it. Does that kind of say something? And there's a lot that the energetics is how the body talks to you. So that's unique about this modality, is that we are listening to the body's voice during the sessions. And in this reality, we do a lot of, you have a pain or a problem. You go to somebody and they diagnose you with something, and then they give you some medicine or something to do. Medical doctors, Ayurvedic, naturopaths, Eastern medicine, it's all kind of the same formula: problem, diagnosis, something else. This isn't that kind of work. There isn't an answer. It's like to be with the body and ask, okay, if you could change this, if you could change anything with the session, what would it be? And body, can you show me what you require to change this? I'm not going to diagnose you. I'm not even going to make your problem that real, because the more real I make your problem, the more I solidify it. It's more like, this is what's here now, we're present with. What would you like your future with your body to be like? And what shows up blows your mind. People are like, I have not been able to do this in my life. Like, I can move this way, and my shoulder's been stuck here, and now it's going up over my head, and you worked on me for 5 minutes. And someone who's never been trained in body work. And it's just touching the surface of truly what's possible with bodies. And the energetic body processes that we talk about are part of the class. There's I think 4 of them that I have in the class that really do contribute to the work that I've been using in my private practice for years. Does that make sense? Was that good?
It was terrible. I didn't get any of it.
It's hard to describe because it's such an experience. You have to experience. Sometimes you have to see it. I've got some videos up on my YouTube channel and Facebook where it shows me working on people. But really being able to experience it, just like with the body process, is truly the way to know what it does, because it is being with the body is part of the work. I mean, your bodies can all get an awareness and a download, and body classes pull and tug your body. They're for your body. They're not for you and your headspace and what you want to clear. Body class is for your body. The EMT truly is for your body also. And it would not exist if the access body processes hadn't been brought to this planet by the amazing access founders, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here. If they hadn't started this work, EMT wouldn't be here, because it was such a integral part of how this creation came to fruition.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love how like different things can contribute to each other.
Yeah.
And like I wonder too, like what choosing to receive beyond trying to figure it out, right? Just trusting that energetic knowing that we all have with EMT, like what that could actually create. It's like the whole reason why we can even stand up and be in a body and walk around is because of our fascia, right? It's holding us up. So, like,
so give it some care, allow it to function the way it's designed to with an ease. I mean, it really creates an ease with your body moving through space, moving through the planet with everything you do. And when it's tightened down and not flexible, bodies talk to you about it, which we call pain.
So I love that.
We have so few words for our body's communication that the vocabulary is almost non-existent for how our bodies talk to us. We have one or two words like pain or uncomfortable. Sometimes we'll say bloated. Or I feel nauseous. There's very few things we have, ways to describe the multitude, the immense amount of information our body communicates with us all the time. And our bodies try all the time. And if you just open the door a little bit, what they know, like what they know about what they would like to eat, what they would like to wear, what's good, the clothes that'll make you look fabulous. Your body knows. But more than that mirror does, the foods that are going to nurture and contribute and help it generate itself every day, the body knows what they are. You don't need to look in a nutrition book to have that information. Your body can give you the awareness just by bringing the food in front of you. Say, body, would you like to eat that? And if it's a pull towards it, it's a yes. And if you go away, it's a no. Really fun exercise. Go to your fridge, pull out some stuff, stand up, put it in front of your body, would you like to eat this? And see what it does if it goes front or back. Have you done that? We call it a standing muscle test.
Yeah, muscle testing. I love it. I haven't done it recently, but I have in the past.
Highly recommend doing, just putting out a bunch of foods and playing with it. I was so excited when I got this tool. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever had, that I could ask my body and it could tell me. And I loved being surprised. Like, oh yeah, I think I want peanut butter toast or something, because I have it in the morning or something like that. And then getting the body to go back and say, no, I don't want to eat that. I'm like, oh my God, you actually don't like this? You don't like this today? I had no idea. Thank you for letting me know.
I've loved strawberries my whole life. What do you mean you don't like strawberries?
Exactly. But it's like I got this really good friend that I've been playing with, on the planet for so many years. And I got to know it better. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. I mean, we take our bodies everywhere we go, right?
Mm-hmm. And you as an infinite being, and this is what we speak to naturally, you're an infinite being that's around lifetime after lifetime. You don't eat. Your body eats. When you don't have a body and you're an entity infinite being, food is not required. Food is for your body. Clothes are for your body. Where you live is for your body. If you ask it, like, what apartment, house would you like to live? Where on the planet would you like to live? Well, your life gets greater. It creates more ease, and I think more fun and more joy. I have much more joy with my body than I did before. I knew these tools or had these tools because we're buddies, we're friends. And if it likes to eat that, it's really fun to have that available for it because it tastes better.
Yes. I love my food gasms. So yes, I vote yes.
Yes, exactly.
Totally. Is there anything else around bodies, receiving, fucking receive, damn it. Just anything else that you would like to invite people to.
Well, what we've been talking about is, fucking receive, damn it. That's like, fucking listen to your body. Receive, damn it. It will show you. Bodies know how to receive if we get out of their way. They know how to change things. They know how to not age as quickly as we think they're supposed to. They have this wisdom. There's a wisdom your body has. And our reality is really strange in how it functions with bodies. It really doesn't like bodies. Bodies are not honored. They're more, they're almost there for suffering your life. And people love that. It can be really hard to get people to back away from, you don't need to suffer. That's not what having a body is really like. It's really could be about joy and possibilities and pleasure. Foodgasms, eating. What if everything you ate, every time you ate, had that taste that you just smiled and went, oh, I am so lucky to be able to eat this today and perceive that yumminess with you. Thank you. All of that is receiving. Receiving isn't just about getting, $1 million. That's awesome receiving too, because your body can have a lot of fun with the money. It's about barriers to nothing. Listening to your body is about receiving your body. Like, we have barriers to listening to what it knows. You were told this and this is a good food to eat. I don't know why we're talking a lot about food, but this, you should eat green vegetables or 3 meals a day. And we've been told so many things, and our body was included in none of that. Some bodies may like to eat 6 times a day. Some might like to eat once, and it could change every day. And when we impose those points of views, you're not receiving the information from your body. When you allow your body to speak with you, play with you, create with you, then you are receiving. And what would your body like to receive? What would be fun for it to receive that you've never imagined? That would be joyful and generate something greater. Would a body process class be something your body would like to have as part of its future? And you get to create with it. So if its future is getting greater and more ease, your life is better. If you want that.
True.
You don't have to receive a greater life.
Suffer in the misery. Sometimes it's more fun and entertaining for whatever insane reason.
Very entertaining. Yes. Very popular, very entertaining.
Totally. It's uncomfortable to have more ease and not be attached to the problems and the suffering. And it's so much more fun.
Yeah. And the uncomfortableness isn't really it's this weirdness about change. So there's this transition when you go from the suffering life, even if you don't suffer that much, it is popular here, into start changing into, oh, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. What's that? And then I remember asking this, and all of a sudden the kids were ready in the morning for school. And it took me a week or so to notice it. But it was, to ask this question, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory on a regular basis. I don't know if it was uncomfortable, but to put that into my schedule seemed like work, which is so silly because it's 10 seconds of your life. Because it's so powerful. And, mornings were hell in my house with my 3 kids, trying to get them up out of bed. They were different ages, different schools. And I know this is a simple thing, but if you have, if you have a struggle every morning and all of a sudden it's just not there anymore, it's a pretty amazing change. And the uncomfortableness can be the joy of the change that we're just not used to. What if it's not uncomfortable? Or what if uncomfortable is where you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't bad, would you avoid it? Or would you seek it out?
Yeah, for me, more so now than ever, it's kind of like a pattern interrupt or an indication for me that I'm sort of quote unquote on the right track. It's ooh, I'm uncomfortable again. Okay. My life is getting ready to get greater. Now it's going to show up.
Yes. And it is so fun when you start to see it that way. Oh, yeah, everything's really weird and a bit uncomfortable. What am I changing? the pattern interrupt. Yes. And then you start to seek it out, and then it's not uncomfortable anymore. It's like a surprise. What's next? What am I creating next? It's more excitement.
Totally. It's kind of like the new normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is where judgments create, it's with judgments. If you're judging uncomfortable as bad, you can't see it as anything but bad.
Yeah.
Like your judgment creates your reality. Your point of view around it creates your reality. So nothing that doesn't match it can you see. So if you have this point of view that being uncomfortable is something you want to avoid at all costs and it's terrible, you're never going to see the greatness in it.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
We're funny.
We are so creative.
We're so creative that if we're not creating amazing, we're going to create crap. But we can't stop creating. So that's a choice. It's a choice. And every 10 seconds, every minute to choose, do you want to create a life that is generative or destructive or crap or joy? Choice all the time. And you're going to be creating. Creation doesn't really stop.
True. It's so like exercising a muscle, especially like if you've like used to work out a lot and then you take a long break and then you're like going back to the gym for the first time, your muscles aren't quite like conditioned to do a whole lot. It's sort of like that, right? Like relearning how to be in the world, relearning how to be with our bodies, relearning to like trust what that we know, right?
And it may just be learning it for the first time because it's been so, It's funny. One of the things that will change with body processes with taking the class, and some of them, like the one of the oldest, the OG body process, MTVSS.
That's my favorite body process.
I know, mine to this day. Absolutely, it's my go-to. But then you take those days off, like your whole workout starts to change if you're doing that. If you're, my things tend to be running, swimming, or dancing. I don't do gyms a lot. I did when I was a 20-year-old quite a bit. But you can take the days off where you think you judge that it was a problem. Like if I don't go in the gym every day, I'm going to lose muscle mass. I'm going to be sore. I'm going to lose my strength. It stops happening.
Yeah.
I've gone like, I have a regular jog that I like to go on. Beautiful area in the Bay that I like to run. And, I'm traveling. I don't get out for a month or so. And I'm like, oh, I really need to, my body tells me when it wants to exercise or move. Really, it's movement. And I had a point of view, I'm going to not be able to run as good. I haven't done this. I haven't been training regularly. And I will run better. Like my breath will be better. My speeds will be better. The ease with running. And I'll like, wow, truly there's a different possibility with bodies. And even that's a judgment. It's a judgment that that you impose on your body, right? That, I will lose muscle or I will lose strength or I will lose my stamina if I'm not doing this regular. There's no question in that. It can be body, what do you want to move today and what do you want to do?
That's too easy.
I know. And hard work is valuable and easy work that is ease, doesn't make any sense to people. It can't possibly work.
Goes against everything we were taught. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed a lot in dancing. I take advanced ballet. I did ballet when I was younger and still pop into classes. And there's a huge point of view in that kind of training that you need to go all the time or you lose it. And even the people in class would go, we haven't seen you in class in months. How come? And I'm like, I do some crazy work. I don't have the same point of view as you. My body never had that point of view, and I stopped imposing it on it. It started creating with me, and that point of view was never true. But as a physical therapist, obviously exercise was something I was extensively trained in. So I have many points of view that went and changed my whole relationship with bodies and how they change and what's possible with them.
So cool. Yeah, I mean, that it just drives home the point, right? That our point of view creates our reality. So
yes.
Yeah.
Our point of view creates our reality. So you want to have all points of views available and none of them are fixed. And what would you like to create as your reality? If you created your reality, what would you choose? I mean, that's a great question just with anything. Like if I was creating my reality, would I go on this airplane? Would I eat this food? Would I go on a date with this person? Yes or no? Because sometimes we have no idea what our reality is. No one's ever asked us.
Right.
We've tried to fit in everybody else's reality, but truly, what is your reality? And that can be a muscle you build where you start, or just start to be curious and learn what it is. And it can be, and it's changeable and it's not fixed, but what gives you joy? What makes you go, oh, that, never thought about that. Never occurred to me that I would include that in my reality.
Totally. Which, like, that question in and of itself is sometimes inconceivable for people.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when it was asked years ago in an Access class. Gary Douglas was teaching here in San Francisco, where I live, and he asked us that question. Maybe it's been like 10 or 15 years. It was a while ago, and we all just we look like, what are you talking about? My reality?
It's like, come again? Huh?
Yeah, it was baffling. It is a baffling question. Now, I mean, after being in the question and doing the Access work, it doesn't seem like a weird question anymore. And we speak about it often. But people that have never been asked that, if you were to create your reality, what would it be? It is a surprising question. Stops them in the tracks. It can be a little bit like, I couldn't. Well, what if you could? What if it's just one little thing you add? One little point of view you change? It was probably never your point of view anyway. That starts to show you what your reality could be.
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to do a pod poc. Do you guys pod poc on this thing? You've been pod pocking?
We haven't. Please do. I mean, like, the energy's like, it's after.
Yeah. Yeah. So the pod poc, it's a clearing statement in Access. Go clearingstatement.com if you have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's totally okay. It's an energetic kind of clearing, but everything that just brought up about your reality and all those energies that are like, everything that is that you like to let go of that's limiting you, would you like to uncreate it, destroy it? Yeah? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod poc, all nine shorts, boys, pelvis, and beyonds.
I'm going to add that in the comments on the live so people can go.
Clearingstatement.com, there's a video that Dr. Dane and Simone Millicis that explain it. It takes a couple minutes. You felt something change, or you just smiled more, or you broke out in a sweat. You went, yeah, it's working.
Totally. It's like an energetic pooper scooper, right? It just like gets into there and takes a big amount of the stuff that's coming up, that uncomfortableness, if you will,
Yeah.
and just goes bye-bye.
Yeah, that isn't serving you, that isn't helping you, that isn't contributing, or is limiting or blocking, or like a big cosmic vacuum cleaner. I've heard it called. I like that one too. Pooper scooper vacuum cleaner.
Totally. There we go. Facebook user. I'm sorry I cannot see your name. Typed it out for us. So
thank you. Facebook user. I'm sure they're a fabulous person in there. I'm really grateful.
Me too. Oh my gosh, this has been such an amazing conversation. I feel like I could talk to you for hours.
I'm enjoying it too. Thank you. Questions have been great. It is fun. Yes.
Totally. I'm so grateful. What classes do you have coming up that you would like to invite people to?
Oh, I have some energetic manual therapy classes, and thanks for letting me talk about it so much on this chat. Coming up in, where am I going? I'm going to Prague and Cologne in Germany. They're all European classes coming up next, and Poland. Mexico body class is kind of in the works. We're starting to put a 3-day body class, and I've got a business done different class online, which is coming up in December. And you can go to accessconsciousness.com/Dr. Glenna Rice to find my schedule easily, because I don't remember my dates and things very well. They're all up there. But it's the time zone for Asia. So it'll be in Japanese and English. And if there's other people that are interested in that class, we can get other languages. But it's for like Australia that time, or an America time zone. It's a good America time zone too. Europe, it'll be the middle of the night.
Nice.
If anyone from Europe is listening to the American ladies chat, the
Well, it's
American
live
girls.
in the 10 weeks challenge group too, so there's people from all over the
Oh
world.
yeah, yeah, of course. We are a global world now.
We are. And it's like this is an amazing invitation to play with what we've been talking about. Like, right? Ask your body. Maybe your body would like to travel to one of those areas and go to a class.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just check in. If would it create more? Ask, ask without a point of view. That's how I got to all my classes. It was always so weird to access classes and money, and I couldn't imagine I would afford it, and I couldn't imagine I could travel, and what would I do with my kids? And it always, once I chose, once I got, yeah, that's going to contribute to the creation of my life. Once I got it was going to create more. If I choose this, what's my life going to be like in 10 years, or whatever the questions we were asking? It always worked with that ease. Like those mornings when the kids wouldn't get ready, it was kind of like that. Everything would fall into place.
That's a whole other loaded conversation. We could do a whole other live on that.
Yeah.
Choice.
Choice creates. Yes, we could. We should. I'd be happy to.
That would be
It could be just fucking choose.
Yes, I love it. Done. Let's do it.
You're fucking awesome.
So are you. Fucking awesome. OG of Access Consciousness. Thank you so much again.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you to everybody who's watching.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day, everyone.